It's Happy Hour again from Uptown New Orleans. Hello, I'm Grant Morris. Happy Hour is part of the family of shows on the podcast network. It's neworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and you pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know, however, is no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limousine or just got out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you because that's New Orleans, and this is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common. Other than we're all New Orleanians. Today we're in a bar called Wayfare on Ferret Street in New Orleans. We're about a couple blocks down from Napoleon Avenue, right across from the fabulous European Wax Center. Are you guys familiar with European waxing? Anybody? No? Who said
Only
I
South
am?
American wax.
Erica.
That would be Erica.
The fabulous Erica Falls is
Yeah,
here.
yes.
And not only is an awesome singer, a soul singer, and a funk singer, could I call you that?
Yeah,
But
I like
also
that.
an expert on waxing.
Well, kind of, sort of. It hurts. I know that much.
It does hurt.
Yes,
How
it does.
often do you go to the wax
I've
center?
only done it once. And
One time,
that's
never
all I
went
needed.
back.
Never went back.
Oh, my God. Did you like how it looked, though?
It was pretty, but you know,
Not enough.
Not enough.
No,
Yeah.
okay. And you brought the fabulous June Yamagishi with you, who's
Yes.
the world's superstar guitar player who we're shocked to see just walk in the door here like a regular person. June, how are you?
Hi, pretty good.
Pretty good. Good to see you.
You see?
I didn't know you were coming. Did you know you were coming here today?
Oh, she just called me, last night.
So just last night? So you didn't
Yeah.
have anything to do today?
Yeah, I got a gig, later, but
What are you doing
I'll
tonight?
I'll be available.
Where are you playing tonight?
Around this time, so
Yeah, where are you playing tonight?
I'm playing at the Taps somewhere around Washington.
Yeah, who?
With Kevin Morris, the bass player from Comic Laughing's band.
All right.
Yeah, he's kind of uptown production.
Right.
Yeah,
are you
he's
working?
unit.
Are you working most nights?
No, I'm off last night.
Most nights you're off.
I'll chill out.
Right. Who have you played with lately that we would know?
Yeah, of course, Johnny and Joe, the trio, and Erica Ford, and sometimes Corey Handy, Funk Dead.
All right.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
I see you around all over the place. You're one of the great. Don't you think? And Les White is here as well.
Absolutely, he's one of the greats.
He's one of the great guitar
Thank you.
players of all time. And Ann Ohri is here as well. Hey, Ann.
Hello.
How's it going?
Well,
So I believe that you also. I have very scant education. I have very scant information about people
oh,
here.
we're keeping the
But
mystery alive.
It says here that you're an educator at South Plaqueimine's High School.
I was. I am no longer
that's
out
not
South
even true.
Plaquemines High School. That is
The first sentence I have
there
here
we go.
is totally wrong.
I was happy to be an educator at
So
South
you
Plaquemines
were.
High
I
School.
could write
I was.
were an educator at South.
Yes,
What is an educator exactly? Is that what you used to call a teacher?
Yes, except sometimes we dabble in the dark side and you work in administration and then you become an educator.
that's called
Like you don't want to
education.
admit that you're an educator, so then you say you're
Right.
an admin
Yeah,
person,
so you say
educator.
So it's kind of like having an emotional support dog.
Pretty much.
sort of
Actually,
thing.
I
You
left
don't want
mine
to
at home.
You
I
have
usually
an emotional
carry him
support
as well.
dog.
I do.
What sort of a dog have you got?
He's a very large dog. He
What
looks
is it?
like a keg with fur.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's his name?
His name is Barkley.
Buckley. And is he named after the basketball player, Charles Barkley?
No, he was a rescue dog, so he came.
He came with the name Barkley.
He did.
And are you allowed to take him to bars and so on?
Actually, he does. He has a little vest. He used to go to school with me.
Right, and
I
is
took
that a
him for
total
kids.
bullshit type thing? Or?
Absolutely.
Right.
I got the
You
vest
got
and
the
the cards
thing
off
on
Amazon,
the
and you
internet.
just
You did.
have to order it. Absolutely.
That's unbelievable, isn't
Yeah.
it? Can you take him on a plane with you?
I wouldn't, but I believe you could.
You could, right?
No, you
Yes.
can't. Not
No?
in the cabin.
You can't.
Well,
I
mean,
thought you could.
No, my ex-wife takes her small dog on flights to Europe. She's
But
German.
but isn't an emotional support dog?
No.
That's the difference.
Well, no, you do. I think, Grant, you do have to make the case.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if you have
that-
an emotional support dog, they can't even. No
They
one can
can't
ask
ask
you
you-
a question, right?
Right.
They can't even ask you what the disability is.
Right.
So we
Wow.
probably maybe shouldn't tell everyone you can just order the cards off
Yeah.
Amazon.
Well-
and the best.
Prime, you get
No,
it in 2
but
days.
I think the secret's out. Everybody knows about that
Yeah.
now. It's like the fake ID to get into a bar.
Absolutely.
Did you used to have? Les, are you from here originally?
I'm from Arkansas originally. I've been here 35 years.
Did you have fake IDs in Arkansas when you were a kid?
I'm sure they did, but I was a good boy. I
You didn't do
I
that?
didn't. No.
Erica, you're
No.
from here, right?
Not that
Born
not
and
that it's
raised.
bad
Born
if
and
you have a
raised.
fake ID.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. It's
No,
it's
not-
totally fine. And you say that you're an educator as well, right?
I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher.
I haven't gone over to the dark side of administration.
You're a professor of literature.
I am.
And you're suggesting, as an educator of kids, that it's okay to have fake ID. Let's just get that straight. Yes.
It depends on how old you are, you know.
Well, then you wouldn't need a fake ID if you're over 21.
Yeah.
Unless you want to fake it that you're younger, which would be... I wouldn't mind that now.
I think, I'll go on record as saying 16 or 17.
You should,
anyway.
You should be allowed into a bar at 16, in your opinion.
This is New Orleans. Isn't that the way we do that?
Well, Erica, how old were you when you first went into a bar?
Well, my parents kept me kind of close to home, so at 18...
Oh, that's pretty late for you.
I know. At 18, I went out and I had my first drink in a bar.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was it?
You know, it was an amaretto and pineapple juice.
Oh!
Wow.
Yeah, that was my first.
Amaretto and pineapple.
Yes.
That's almost enough to make you have just like throw up after one.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
It makes you gag. You're
Hey,
almost throwing up in your mouth right now.
I didn't know.
I know, but you got to start with something.
That was it.
How did you know to drink amaretto?
Because that was my sister's favorite drink. So.
And what's her name?
Felicia.
Felicia Falls.
Yes.
What a great name.
Yeah.
Wow. Where is she today?
She's actually getting off work right now.
Really? What does she do?
She works for the Times-Picayune.
She does. She's the last person standing over there.
Yes.
Is she a writer?
No, she works in the obits. She puts what you see in the obits, yeah.
Wow, what a weird sort of a job.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But
is she writing an obit for the Times-Picayune? Is she working on that?
Well, no, she actually puts the pictures and the write-up. And
she does. She's the person who, when you
open
die,
it, you see it there. Yeah.
So when you call up and you say, hey, so-and-so's dead, what do I do to get an obit in the paper?
And she'll tell you what you
Felicia
need to do.
Falls is the person you're talking to.
Yes, she is.
Wow. What about that?
Yes.
She get a job like that? Was she a
been
writer?
There for years. No, she worked in the customer service department years ago.
And they said, hey, you've got talent, kid. You could be writing obits.
And then they just moved on up, and here she is. She lasted.
That's a fine reference, Grant.
You know what?
She
Talk
lasted.
about last man standing.
There you
well
go.
Done.
So it's an interesting job. What do you, as a literature professor, Les, do you do any writing?
Sure.
So
yeah.
So the obituary writing is a sort of a style, isn't it?
I'm not that familiar with the style, but I do
Isn't
know
it a
that it's
particular form of...
Right. I mean,
It is.
Erica
Most
will probably
times-
answer that
most
question
times the
better than
family
I.
will send in. It's basically almost put together once the family sends it in.
Right.
But
Does she have to rewrite it so it's in the same
sometimes she has to
form?
make some corrections, if some misspellings or things like that.
Right.
But most times it's basically done when it's sent in. Yeah.
So what does she do for a job? She just like photocopies?
No, well, you have to do the layout. So with the layout that you see in the paper, that has to be put together, and then the picture, and then the write-up of the person that just passed. All of that it's kind of technical. It took her a while, to get all that part together, but she's a pro at it now.
Does she enjoy it, or is it depressing as all dealing with dead people all day?
Well, she enjoys helping the families who are grieving and going through.
I've heard, I don't know if this is true, that it's $500 to put that in the Times-Picayune. Is that right?
It's somewhere in that arena. Yeah, it's a little costly.
Death is not cheap.
No,
they get you.
Nothing
They get you coming and going. Have you had to organize a funeral or anything?
I did for my father when my father passed.
Right.
And it was there's a lot of pieces, and there's a lot of pieces, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a horrible thing to say when you're talking about grief.
And the trouble is, you don't want to. It's like when you go to the coffee place and they swing that iPad thing around and it says tip, and you feel like you don't want to give a person a 15% tip just because they told you it's $2.30 and you have to give it to them.
Yeah.
But you feel like a cheap ass if you don't
That's right.
tip it.
You
It's the
don't.
same thing when someone dies. They say, well, this coffin is $5,000 and this piece of shit one is only $100, but hey.
Yeah, if you truly love them.
Yeah,
I was
you wouldn't want to
thrilled
bury
my
some-
father wanted to be cremated. That took us out of that entire
Yes,
realm.
That's my deal.
Because-
You want
which
to
is
be
also
cremated?
I
not
just say cremate
cheap.
me and put me
It's
a
not.
picture
I
up
hate
when
to
I was
we
young.
found a bargain.
A bargain
We did
cremation.
find
I wish I'd known.
Is there a
I'm telling
bargain?
you, there is.
How much-
This was in
That's right.
California. It was
much do you-
substantially less. Oh gosh, this was 17 years ago, so I don't know that I could access it now. I just remember at the time the difference between the whole casket, funeral, all that thing, as opposed to having someone cremated.
So if you get cremated, you don't need a casket, I assume, because
No.
you're going to be burned up.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And my father had done most of his body to science, so
and
to the point where my mother was like, "There won't be anything left to burn." I said, Sal, it'll be all right. There'll be something.
Is she still with us, your mom?
Oh, she is.
Okay.
She is.
Okay, so if you donate your body to science, so they take out your organs.
Well, and for him, it was interesting. It was a lot of his skin.
Oh, dear.
For skin grafting and his eyes and things of that nature.
Wow.
Things of that nature.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for too many details.
What's going to be the segue here? What's the pivot from?
Yeah.
That's you, literature
donating your skin
to your organs. I was going to ask Erica about being cremated.
Okay.
Seeing she's already decided to be cremated.
Yes, I have.
So you had your first drink at 18, which was amaretto and pineapple.
Yes.
What age did you decide you were going to be burned to a crisp?
You need a fake ID
Just
for
last year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What was the precipitating incident
Well,
that made
I think
you
it's a
think
lot
about it?
easier on the family, financially and emotionally. And then I say, cremate me and I'm a shoe lover. I love shoes. So just put all some fancy shoes up and,
where?
a beautiful picture of when I was young.
So like in the memorial service?
Like in the service,
just have
like
your shoes
around
and
the
a
pretty,
photo.
a really pretty vase, put me in, that sort of thing.
Put you in like an urn, I think it's called.
Yes, an urn. There you go.
Okay, so this is the plan for your funeral then.
Yeah.
We're going to burn you up to like a bits of you that'll fit into an urn.
Yes.
Put the urn
Pretty
on
urn,
a pretty urn, so you
Yes.
should pick that up probably.
Of course.
Shoe-shaped urn. Is
There
that
you
what
go.
I heard?
Oh,
Yes,
my
the
gosh.
urn must be shaped like
This
this.
is like shaped like a shoe. Could you get
Stiletto.
an urn?
She could talk to muses. I feel
can
like
work
they
it
could
out.
handle this.
What sort of an urn?
Yes.
Can you get it?
I have friends in muses.
Okay, you know what?
Unfortunately,
Tag
Grayson's
it
not
down.
here. We don't have anyone to look this up for us. Maybe April can look this. Can you get an urn that's shaped like a shoe?
I don't know.
Of course.
Les,
you can
it
get
is
anything.
possible.
Well, all my 4 dogs are all in urns beside my bed. In my bedroom.
Are they all dead?
I'm a great straight man, am I not?
Okay, so all your dogs,
yes,
4
they
dogs
are.
died,
Yes, they
and you
are.
had them all cremated, and they're all in urns.
Of course, yeah.
But they're in
I've
like
got-
a wooden box, right?
Right. Well, I got.
Would you get shapes?
I got a couple of fancy,
You
know.
did?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Well, just what we're talking about.
What shape
urns
are they?
and-
What shape are they in?
Oh,
Like a classic Greek.
Classical.
Greek.
yeah, just sort of.
Yeah, I feel like the hands
I don't know how to describe things like that.
Aren't you an English professor? Don't you?
Yeah, but
Don't
I
work
don't.
in words all day.
The only thing, there's a great poem by Keats called "Ode on a Grecian Urn."
Yes.
Do you know that poem?
I
Does
do.
anybody know that poem?
How does
I
it
do.
go?
At any rate,
I
that's
don't.
the only urn I'm really familiar with.
Can you recite that poem or any of it?
No, not right. Not under.
Me neither.
Not under
It's
pressure.
Under
one of those
pressure,
ones we as
and you-
English educators try to block from our minds.
You don't know it either.
Not under pressure.
You don't know it.
I do know it. I've had to teach it, but once again,
Can't bring it to
accessing
mind
it
immediately.
right now,
Not
no.
happening.
Oh,
Can't do it.
on a Grecian
Wait.
urn or to a Grecian urn.
Yeah. So here,
Two.
so the first couple of
Two.
lines come to me,
Okay.
and I know everybody would be thrilled to hear these. Thou still unravished bride of quietness, foster child of silence and slow time, sylvan historian, the poet's addressing the urn, who canst thus express a tale more sweetly than our rhyme. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
I
this
can tell
is.
he teaches at the college level,
yeah.
and I taught high
You're
school.
a high school
So
teacher,
yeah,
so
we
you're
weren't
But,
there.
and this applies to all our artists here and all of us, really. But these are the famous lines from the poem. Beauty is truth, truth, beauty. That is all you know on earth and all you need to know. Anyway, whatever.
That's nice.
It's actually
We're just
better
thinking-
than that.
We're just thinking about that. Truth is beauty.
Beauty is truth, truth, beauty. That is all you know on earth and all you need to know.
Can you explain that, Professor, exactly what that means to people
Well,
who are less swift on the uptake, like
I have
the
been,
non-educators on this axis?
I'm going to take the fifth or drink one on that because I've been in my office since 6 o'clock this morning. I drove over here from it, so I'm dull.
Really, you've been working
I don't think you're
on
dull.
English literature since 6 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I get in the office and mess around on Facebook and do emails.
Oh, come on.
I
He's
see.
being modest. If he is an English teacher, he spends all his time correcting kind of sadly written essays.
Well, right, Ann,
Sad.
but it's too early in the semester to have those yet. So it's the honeymoon
We don't have
period.
like
No,
the
it's honeymoon
diagnostic
period.
yet where you just think, holy hell.
You can curse on the show. No one cares. You can say holy shit or holy anything you want.
There's still the educator in me. I'm starting a new high school. I can't cuss too much.
You're starting a new high school?
I am. That's why I left South Plaque.
I am. South Plaque. That's a good name right there. South Plaque.
No, that would, if you're shortening South Plaquemine's high school, it becomes South Plaque.
I like that.
I like that. Nice.
Because a plaque is also what you put on...
Perfect background.
On your grave after you're dead.
There you go.
Not
to
a
tie
grave.
it all together.
Yeah,
nice.
What is a grave called when it's not actually a grave? When it's just got ashes in it?
When it just has ashes in it?
Isn't that called something else? Yeah.
Well, usually then it's a mausoleum.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
You're not going to pay for the big spot if you can use the little spot.
If you can squeeze yourself into a little thing. So, what school are you starting?
I am fortunate enough to be one of the founding members of New Harmony High School. We've been in the news. The school on a barge is how everybody knows it. I don't know if anybody knows it.
School on a barge.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
I would say so.
Lorraine Powell-Jobs, about 3 years ago, started a project where she said, let's rethink high school. And so she created a foundation that funded people to go out and do data collection for about 2 years, where they just talked to anybody and everybody about what do you think high school should look like. And then they launched a competition, and 700 teams applied across the nation to rethink high school in America, and 10 teams were chosen, and were each given $10 million in which to start a school. It sounds like a lot. It's not a lot of money to start a school. Just
I could totally start one for $5 if somebody would give me the $10.
Yeah, in my garage.
Yeah.
But I was fortunate enough when they won this award, I got a phone call and they said, "Would you come do this with us?" So
you're in on the $10 million.
I am.
You're one of 10 teams in America.
Yes, sir, I am.
Congratulations.
Well,
Thank
this
you.
is a real rarefied type group we've got here today.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
So
you're going to reimagine.
Crazy
you're one of
exciting.
10 people in America to be you're reimagining high school education.
Yes, sir.
And of all places, it would happen to be here, where we're number 50 in everything.
Well, you know what? We have great kids. They just aren't being served necessarily the way we think all kids should be served.
Wow. Well, this is exciting, and now we've got something to talk about for the next entire 45 minutes.
No, I'm not going to.
There's nothing more important, though, surely, is there?
There's not. Well, and I'll add the layer for you, and then it brings everyone in. So the idea is that the school is rooted in coastal preservation and restoration for Louisiana. In whatever form that takes, whether that's you're writing down the stories of communities that are leaving, whether you are documenting the music, whether you're producing the music. So any way that we feel, because we know we are in jeopardy here, right. More than people, I think. The more time I spend immersed in coastal issues, the more frightened I become, and the more determined I become to do this well.
Thing. If that was going to be my entire high school career, I would feel like I'm going to kill myself.
No, they're young and they're smart, and the jobs they're going to create in order to work on this problem haven't even been invented yet. So we have to create thinkers.
Okay.
So this is the de-siling of education, so they don't sit in a room and think only about English for 50 minutes and then go down a hallway and think only about math. So that doesn't happen. It's project-based,
so this is like a Montessori style? Well, it's beyond that.
It's beyond that to a certain extent in that... it's apprenticeship, mentorship based. So the idea is I am not an expert in all things, nor do I claim to be. But if you develop an interest in something, I'm going to find you someone who can mentor you through. Okay. And you're going to learn about that long before you go to college or the workforce.
When you say I'm going to, you're assuming that I'm a high school student.
Of course. Well, you look, I assumed you were just, a Doogie Howser of producing here, and we're doing this after school.
So I go to school on day one, in, what is that, 9th grade?
9th grade.
And I say, I'm interested in playing the guitar like June Yamagishi. Can you believe that June Yamagishi is playing the guitar?
I know, I can't believe. I've watched you for years and years, and we're sitting at a table drinking together, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah, and he's just playing the guitar. This is awesome. So I come to you and I say, I'm interested in someone like June who plays guitar. And you go find him.
Yes, to a certain extent. Well, now I'm actually going to go straight to junior now that we're sitting at a table drinking together. So that's an easy one. No, the idea is the kids come in and they're put into groups of 15, and they have an advisor who is also a teacher at the school. And so we will stay together for 4 years. If we were an advisory group, because you're all different people with different thoughts, but I, as your advisor, will manage every kid has an individual learning plan. we know everybody learns differently, so every kid gets one. So I will manage these 15 kids for the 4 years that I have them as I take them through this process.
And can I just ask you a question then? So is this your idea of a fantasy type school that you would have loved to have done your whole life, and now you have a chance to do it?
Why, yes. As a matter of fact,
so you've had this idea that if I could just get 15 kids and guide them for 4 years, I could turn out 15 great people with a great education.
I could turn out 15 people who are going to go on to be great citizens and happy with their life. And that is what I want.
And $10 million you've got to pull that off. And so you've got 4 years to do this.
Yes, sir. So we start fall. Sorry. Yeah, that's
more like it.
And so we start a year from now. So a year from now, I will be crazed and not this con. And then we start with 9th grade, and we'll grow a grade a year.
That
so we're
is
starting.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we're only starting with 45 9th graders. Eventually.
And why are you on a barge?
Because that was the tie it into coastal restoration preservation. We will have a barge, but the entire school will not be on a barge. Okay. It sounded great. Everybody got very excited. Yeah. It's not practical. I hated to be the one to rain on the parade.
It's a kind of stupid idea, really.
No, it's a great idea, but that's a $50 million idea, and I don't have $50 million.
So where's it going to be, this new school? What's it called? Harmony.
New Harmony. So the idea of new harmonies. There we go, with our music people.
Love it.
Yes. Thanks, Les. I'm so glad you live around the corner from me. We're going to have to hang out.
Oh, you guys live around the corner?
We figured this out before it started.
We just figured it out.
Okay. Where do you live? Mid-city, right?
Mid-city.
Yeah.
Where do you live, Erica?
I live in New Orleans East.
New Orleans East?
Yes.
And June, where are you in Tremere?
No, I'm from Lower Garden.
Lower Garden.
Lower Garden District.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's from all over.
Colosseum and Lace.
All right. Oh, that's a nice area down there. Yeah. Well, our last guest we had a couple of weeks ago, Leslie. Do you live with Leslie Smith or something?
Yeah. They're close.
Close to her,
Yeah.
not with her.
No.
That would have been a good story, right?
Can I get in here on Leslie Smith?
Yeah.
Just
As it were, you can.
so to speak. Yeah, when I first moved here in, the 82 or 3, and you'll remember this, June.
Yeah.
Were you here then? Were you here in the early 80s? No.
I'm
Okay.
moving here 95.
Okay. Well, Grant, were you here? Some might remember Tyler's
Tyler's.
Tyler's Jazz Garden.
That's my first
on
spot.
magazine.
You played there?
No, first time I was visiting New Orleans, 87.
Yeah, that was here.
So
then.
Walter would play at the Tyler's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went over there
I see.
myself. I said, wow, it's
Yeah.
like a kind of residence area, right?
Right.
And the nighttime cab driver took me to over there. I said, wow, that's totally different, you know?
Did you know anybody when you first came here?
Huh?
Did you know anybody when you first came here?
No.
Did you know
No.
Walter or anybody? No.
I was in the Bahamas for my band recording.
Yeah.
So on the way back to the Japan, I stopped by the New Orleans 3 days. That's my first time.
Can we hear him?
1987.
Really? Okay. What band were you in?
30 years.
30 years.
Wow.
What band were you in the Bahamas?
Chicken Shack.
Chicken Shack.
Chicken
Okay.
Shack. That,
Yeah.
not England, English blues band.
Not the same one.
We did more kind of R&B, funk,
Right.
Instrumental, vocals mixed together. So kind of,
What
kind
happened
of
when,
success
what
in
happened
Japan.
when you got here then? Did you just show
No,
up at Tyler's and stuff?
time, I was in LA, New York, big cities.
Right.
But I stopped at the New Orleans. Vibe is totally different.
Yeah.
So it's got me. I said, wow, it smells different.
That's true.
That's for sure.
What's that
Yeah.
smell? Yeah.
That's the most important thing for me.
Did you ever
'Cause-
ever figure out what that smell is? In all the time you've been here? No.
So anyway, then I came back 91 for the Jazz Fest.
Ah, okay.
So then I decided someday I'll move down here.
Yeah, good man.
So I did.
Right.
95.
Right. Did you move here to play with anybody, or you just moved here and then just see what happens?
No, they just moved here.
Right.
So see what's happened. There I met the guy named Michael Ward at the Maple Leaf Bar.
Michael Ward.
Yeah, the percussion player.
Oh, the percussion player, not the violin.
Yeah, from Harry Connick or,
Right.
So he said, what are you doing here? I moved down here. Come to my house tomorrow. What for? We're going to do a rehearsal for my band.
Okay.
Wow.
So you were in Harry Connick's band immediately?
No, he was. He was playing with. Yeah,
okay,
that time Harry got a funk band. Tony Hall, Raymond Weber, that band. He was playing the percussion.
Right.
So Michael Ward band, Reward. So
Michael Ward and Reward, right.
Me, Houseman, Theodore Declo,
right.
Cornell, Jerry Bean,
So that was your first band?
That was a band.
That's a fantastic
It's a pretty good introduction to New Orleans.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my partner, Koji, on the keyboard.
Yeah.
He's back to Japan right now.
Right.
He do great things, but he's
he couldn't
awesome
hang.
keyboard player.
Well, not everybody can hang in New Orleans. You have to be a certain type of person and play a certain kind of music.
Yeah.
You ever think about leaving?
Who?
You ever think about leaving here?
No.
You're just going to stay. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's
it. Are you going to be buried or cremated?
Well, I don't know, but
Well, you have to make a decision right now. Which one is it going to be?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't feel like to move. But I don't know about the tomorrow.
Well, do you think there's a chance you could be reincarnated?
Huh?
Do you think there's a chance you could be reincarnated, that you could come back to life after death?
Well,
Have you ever thought about that?
no.
Never. Okay, well, here's your chance right now. Do you believe there could be life
No
after
pressure.
death?
No pressure.
Because I think that's going to have to weigh into the decision about whether you get cremated or not, right?
Well, so I'm going to jump in and tell you a story about my son. So when we first started coming to New Orleans in the late 90s, and my children we were born and raised in Southern California.
Yeah.
So this felt very different and fabulous, and they liked it.
Right.
And after going through the cemeteries, my son looked at us, and my husband bought our farm down in Plaqueimine's Parish. And
You live on a farm in Plaqueimine's Parish.
no, my husband lives on a farm in Plaqueimine's Parish. I live
You
in
live in Mid-City around the corner from West.
It's a
Are you
beautiful
still married?
arrangement. Yes, absolutely.
that's
that would explain why.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What is he
We find it works for us.
What's he farming down there? Weed or
Citrus.
citrus? We grow citrus here?
God.
Like what?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
South Plaquemines grows, pre-Katrina grew over half of the citrus that is consumed in Louisiana.
Really?
Yeah.
What, your farm or the Louisiana
No,
did?
Southern
Okay.
Louisiana, the
And
South Plaquemines.
are you allowed to see other people?
Well, I'm looking at you all now, and it seems to be going all right.
What's the deal with that?
Good answer.
You're not allowed to date other people, though?
I try not to. It makes it
try.
awkward on the weekends when
Well,
I
that's
go
the thing.
home.
I was just
but
wondering
you
what the
know.
arrangement was there. Okay. So you just live...
We've been married for a very long time and are very comfortable with...
So nobody's seeing anybody else. It's not one of those kind of marriages.
Not that I know of, but,
I doubt that he's doing anything wacky down there on the farm.
I'm
Growing.
pretty darn sure he's not. I know what my neighbors look like.
Okay. So sorry, go on with the story.
So the story is, my husband bought this farm, and we knew we were going to own this until it goes underwater. And
Oh, that's awful.
well, sorry, it's true. But so my son said, "Can we put a mausoleum on the farm? Wouldn't that be great? And we could all be together on the farm." And we said, "Well, okay, sure. I mean, this is Louisiana. There's
how
not
old is
laws,
this kid?
right?" At the time, I think he was in middle school.
And he was thinking about already
They're all
being
grown
dead
and gone
together.
now. Well, they hadn't seen cemeteries till you come here. Because, Southern California, we don't talk about death. It's not allowed. People don't do that. They try to become immortal. So death was really new to my kids. And they were like, wow, these people celebrate it. They live with it. It's next door. This is great. So my son said, "Can we put a mausoleum on the farm?" And I said, "Yeah, that's great. Once again, it's Louisiana. I don't think there's rules. I think we just build it and you put people in it." And so he said, "Better yet, can we just put a dining room table in it? And then when anybody passes, you just wire them into their chair, and eventually we'll all end up back around the dining room table together again."
Wow.
So that's our plan.
Wow.
That is pretty good. No one's died in your immediate family yet.
Not in the immediate family yet. Nobody's made it to the table yet.
Okay, good. That's good to hear.
So would you take the entire body of the person and just
I don't know
wire
that
them
we've
in?
worked out the details.
Even in Louisiana and on private property, I don't know whether that would be legal. I'm not a lawyer, but
Maybe we'll cremate and do the urn at the table. I feel that won't be quite as exciting.
do you
but
have the table in there yet? Do you have the mausoleum in there at all?
we haven't built the mausoleum, but we do have the table.
Wow.
It's a start.
Okay.
It's a start.
Can you get these high school kids to come down there and build the mausoleum for you? Seeing that's part of
If I find a kid who's passionate about building mausoleums, that's going to be their first project.
Is that called corruption, or is that part of is that now education?
Oh, that's what do they call it? Entrepreneurial education or
Right.
some horrible
Well, this is going
phrase.
to be
that
a
people
pretty
use.
interesting thing. So what are you going to do for a year while you get this set up? What's the preparation involved?
I'm going to hang out in bars and drink with people. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's
What are you
gonna be
drinking?
great.
Moscow Mule? You finished that one. You want another one?
I did. Yeah, I would take another one.
We can get April or Graham. We've got two
Yeah.
producers over here. So let's see. April can hook you up.
I feel like
Hey,
Les might need one too.
Yeah, can we get another round of drinks, April, if that's cool?
I'm still working on it.
You're still good? Well, you
Yeah.
got some very sophisticated looking glass of red wine here.
Thank you very
June's good?
Just Tito's on the rocks.
Okay, cool, you guys. That's good. Okay, so what are you going
Thanks.
to do for 12 months? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. You're right. I'm going to
Just
sit
chill
home,
out and drink with
chill
us.
out,
Now,
drink
what
with
are you have to do? You have to come up with
no, there is.
everything.
I'm actually, because I'm kind of the curriculum person, I am writing. So 9th grade is going to be a lot of experiential, more whole group learning, because we know that kids don't actually know what jobs there are in the world. They think there's 6 jobs, firefighter, teacher, lawyer,
that
so-
would be a good thing to learn right off the bat, wouldn't it? Did you
Yeah,
guys
yes.
know you could do any of the things that you're doing now for a living when you were a kid? Did you know you could be a singer for?
Yes.
I had no idea.
I knew she
Yeah.
was going to say that.
Because you grew up in New
She's
Orleans.
molecular.
I
I grew
guess.
up in New Orleans, so it's a common thing here for musicians to do just that
Yeah.
for a living.
I still don't think I knew though that people did that for a living. I just thought, you were a lawyer for a living, and then someone sort of sang or something.
It's like that in other cities.
Yeah.
I learned after the storm.
Right.
Like music is the side thing, not the main gig.
Yeah.
And for us, it's the opposite here.
So you grew up knowing that here.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Did you know that, Les? Did you know you could be like an English professor for a living? Or did you think you were going to have to be a
No,
lawyer?
I never thought about it. I didn't have a career plan. I unfortunately didn't do a market analysis, to figure out these things. You just, I went to college in the 70s, early 70s, so
Right, but I think Anne's right that most kids
I just
think
followed
there's like 6 things.
what I loved. Oh yeah, no, the kids now, or at least at UNO, the students are, vocationally oriented. I mean, they have to look at the success ensuring disciplines, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
And
Because
it's
what can
very
you do with-
utilitarian, very very vocational sort of orientation.
Which is where you don't come in, right? I mean, you're teaching
Which is where I
English
don't come
literature.
in, or I do come in, and I say, look, here's some stuff that's great. I love it. I try to present it in ways that is infectious, maybe, without being obnoxious about it. And some of them will get it, and some of them won't feel
Right.
it. I don't go in with like the missionary spirit, I just try to say, this sounds awesome. This is awesome. Here's why this is awesome. Have a good Christmas. See you guys later. See you guys later.
Why are kids doing a degree in English literature these
Pardon?
days? Why are kids signing up for your class these days?
I don't know. I mean, the rigors of freshman chemistry will send a lot of them our way.
Yeah. Okay.
but-
when we were students, when my age, you just went to school and it didn't really cost all that much, if anything. And
Right.
you could do a degree in English literature and smoke pot and take all kind of drugs and drink and it didn't matter what you did. Now you're racking up all kinds of bills.
Well, if I could just say, this is how different the world was. My 2 roommates, we were all 3 English majors, and they went to med school. Mm-hmm. They loved literature, they loved studying art, they were both musicians, but they were great at science, and they loved it. And back then, the MCAT, the test you take to get into, do they call it that now? I don't know.
I think
But
they do
but
still.
it was it was a lot of verbal stuff and analytical stuff and vocabulary and so on. And so the English major was perfect for that. So they aced much of the MCAT for that reason.
because you
And-
need writing skills.
Well,
You mean,
I don't know. I mean,
You don't know.
you don't need writing skills to be a physician, I don't think.
I thought that's how you said that they aced the MCAT.
Well, they aced it by knowing words and how to
that's
think
what I'm
critically and so on. And so
Right.
forth.
So what you're saying is it does help to have a degree in English literature, even if you want to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it
Well,
would.
that's a pretty passionate argument, I would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I think that's a enthusiastic.
And
Probably misguided.
It's a
probably,
fool's errand. I mean, totally.
It's totally
you know?
wrong, but
I mean, the thing, yeah.
You're the professor of English. I can't imagine that anymore that that's
It's
true.
a hard sell.
Until you find, but don't you find when you find the one book, like when you can find the one book for that kid, then there's
That's
that
right.
moment. And you do, it's not a mass-produced thing. That's why I think it's hard to speak about, because it's that kid with that book, and you see that kid, and you're like, I need you to read this book. And if you can get him to read that book, then somehow we realize it just flips a switch. The books aren't bad or terrible or mean or something we do to you. You know?
Well, Erica, when did you first find out you could sing?
Well, I come from a singing family. My mother sings, plays the piano, the organ, so I grew up in a household full of singers. I was the only one brave enough to take it on as a career.
Really?
Yeah.
So what gave you the confidence to do that? Do you think you've got a better voice than everybody else, or you just wanted to do it more?
No, because my mother, who's also a retired school teacher, so all of this stuff.
Full circle.
Yes, an English
Beautiful.
teacher at that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Where was she teaching at?
She taught Thomas Alva Edison Elementary School. She taught at Lockett and also at McCarty.
All right.
Yes. So
she got out with a pension?
No, my mother retired when I started junior high school. So
that was a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
She's been retired for a long.
But she never stopped teaching. Teaching still went on in the home.
Did she?
With me and the grandkids and the great grands.
Did she retire with her? She's got great grandchildren. Have you got?
Yes.
Have you got kids?
I do. I have one daughter.
All right. How old is she?
She's 25.
What?
Yes.
I would never have believed that.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's 25.
Okay, I would have not ever in a million years guessed that you could have.
Well, thank you.
Holy shit.
I give it to the humidity in the city.
Is that what it is?
Youthful.
Don't
yes.
move. Then. Don't leave. But you've
Don't
you've been on the road for a while, though, right?
I have
Been
been.
out with Galactic?
Yes.
How was that all?
That was amazing. We opened for Government Mule this run.
Okay.
And I got the chance to sing with Warren Haynes, which just blew my mind. He's
Really?
absolutely amazing and one of the nicest people. So that was really, really fantastic for me. Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
really nice.
would we make you sing a song right now, actually?
Okay.
We'll make June actually play something for real.
You ready to do something, June?
What are you thinking of doing, you two?
Well, I just released a new record, and I'm going to do an original tune written by myself and Nigel Hall.
Okay, what's the record called? So I can
It's
write
called
it.
Homegrown.
Homegrown?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. Where are you from? Where you been? I'm like, I'm a homegrown girl right here from New Orleans. So
I always think of homegrown as weed.
well,
Do you-
yeah,
do you?
that's one thing.
Moonshine,
of it.
actually.
Yeah.
Moonshine. Is that right?
My
I
son
had
works
some
in the
really
cannabis
good
industry.
moonshine.
What do you think of when you hear the word homegrown?
No, I'm with you. Like I said, my
think of
son
pot?
graduated from LSU and lives in Colorado and works in the cannabis industry.
Does it?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
You've got a family in the cannabis industry. Okay, we'll get back to that in a minute. We are coming back to that. Can you remind me? Because my short-term memory is
card?
just to
You can hear
hell.
her sing. The 12-year-old who apparently somehow has a 25-year-old needs to sing.
Yeah, really. That is just unbelievable that you have a 25-year-old
I
kid.
do.
Okay, what are you going to sing? Something off the new record, Homegrown?
Yes, entitled Makings of Love.
Oh, okay.
Boy meets girl, girl meets boy. It's chemistry. And as time moves on, here comes the question, are you the one for me? I know how I feel inside, just like a kid on a sugar high. And I want to taste more and more. But in my heart, I've got to know these are the makings of love. I need to know, baby, these are the makings of love. Now I know it won't always be easy. Sometimes gon' get greasy, and that day's gon' come when life's gon' test our love. Sometimes Sometimes we're gonna mess up, and forgiveness is gonna be hard. Sometimes we're gonna struggle and fight for this love. Oh, when we find that sweet spot, babe, we both know how good that thing could be, yeah. And it's all in the makings, in the history of you and me. Ooh, these are the makings of love. Yes, these are the makings of love. These are the makings of love. Thank you.
Okay, that is amazing.
Thank you.
I know.
You did?
Oh,
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Really, so beautiful.
I need your card.
okay, good.
It's angelic. June, thank you. That was beautiful too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't
It
do it
looks-
without him.
Really? It all looks so easy, of course, when you just sit there and start singing. How do you write a song like that? It's not so simple. It doesn't sound like it's just got a simple verse, chorus.
It's actually a little bit of my life. Most of my writing is very personal.
What was that one about?
I was entering a new relationship, and I just wanted to make sure that this guy was the one. You know, I wanted to make sure that everything we were putting in the pot was the makings of love. So that's how this song came about. It didn't work out.
Oh,
but,
that was my
you know,
next question. You got
he was
a
putting
good
in the
song
wrong
out of
ingredients,
it.
but I got a great
The
song.
recipe, then you got a good song.
Hey,
Yes.
Liz, can you pick that mic up? Put it on the table. Thanks.
Yes.
How long ago did you write that?
I actually wrote this song last year.
Oh, so this is a pretty recent.
Pretty recent.
So was it like a heartbreaking experience for you?
I was disappointed, but it was a learning lesson
Right.
as well.
Do you still get heartbroken?
Yeah. It happens.
Doesn't get any easier.
No, it doesn't. It's still the same heartbreak, still the same hurtful feelings.
So
but,
you
you know, I
still-
write songs about it.
Right. So you still go into a new relationship thinking this is going to be the one every time?
No,
No.
I'm just waiting to see if the actions are going to actually match with what they say. You know, that's the dating world. You married people, stay married. I tell you, this dating game is madness out here today. But
Well, are you still doing it? Are you still
yeah,
dating?
I'm still dating.
Les, are you still dating?
Yeah, I've been in a relationship for 7 years.
Well, I think the answer is no, not yes.
The answer
I mean,
is
I'm
no.
not the English professor here, but...
No, I think he was being sweet.
But I
He's
was
still
trying-
dating her.
okay, I see.
see.
I was trying to. I was about to elaborate on,
Okay.
this tumultuous. But
It's
at any
like
rate,
a court of law.
yeah. I mean, a friend. You know, what Erica said was like, you know, a friend of mine said I was trying to decide years ago, should I commit to this person or not, and he said, stay single until you can't stand it anymore.
That is a
That's pretty good
great
advice,
line.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is. But I don't know how wise it is, but it's a good
I think it's good.
bon mot or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you think the definition of not being able to stand it anymore is?
Obviously, it's subjective. I mean, it's
Right.
going to differ for everybody. I don't know. I mean, just being burned out on the dating situation, and at some point,
So you just end up sticking with the last person. It's like the last man standing at the time speaking.
it's a very cynical deal in some ways. Yeah, I mean, the whole mythology, you know, of romantic love is just so confusing. You know, the soulmate thing and the monogamy and the marriage as an institution, and you know, I mean,
Yeah.
who invented all that shit? You know,
Well, apparently-
The
pardon me.
people who write the books that we teach to children.
Yeah.
Well, that's right.
Well, the
I think
theory
it's
is-
been debunked though.
Yeah,
but
no, I agree.
But if we
no, I
were
totally
left to
believe
our,
in it. I'm a romantic, totally.
but if we were left to our own devices and there was no civil society, would we still have all these rules, or would we just be banging everybody?
Well, I'm not advocating the opposite of fidelity or monogamy.
Erica says we would just
Probably
be banging
be
everybody.
banging, but you know.
Yeah. Well, then that's a natural state of man.
Tricky points of its own. Like, it's tricky all the way around.
Yeah.
So
Whichever
you
way.
got to decide which tricky you want to work.
Right.
You got to decide which tricky you're
No,
going to
that's
work
right.
with.
How much
Well-
tricky you need in your
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
Well, everything has advantages and disadvantages. Right?
By the way,
So-
Tricky is coming to House of Blues. If you
Oh, really?
Tricky.
Is that right? Ah, that is good to know.
yeah.
So you're up with that sort of thing. What's going on?
Well,
Do you still go out on the 7-year relationship of dating? You still go and like hear music and stuff?
I do. I do.
And
I
what
mean,
is-
I went to Chickawawa this time last week to see Dave Alvin, Jimmy Dale Gilmore,
That's a good combo.
and Peter Case, who used to be kind of big back in the mid '80s. He used to look like Paul Weller, and now he looks like James McMurtry or me. He was this sort
That's
of svelte,
scary.
good-looking, like.
Love James.
Well, these people
I
aren't
was going to say,
I love
love
James McMurtry. Yeah, no
I love
offense
his
to James
father, too,
McMurtry.
so-
Anyway, so
Well, these guys aren't supposed to get older because it's depressing when these
That's right.
musical heroes of yours. That's
there was
why
a great-
Erica's staying young and gorgeous
I
looking. So
know.
I know it's
she doesn't
unbelievable.
disappoint any of her fans.
I need to know where you buy your lotion. That's all I need to know before we leave here today.
Well,
Well, you can tell us that. Where do you buy your lotion?
I use coconut oil.
Ha.
Okay, my daughter right now is saying, "I told you, Mama." See,
Yes,
dang it.
coconut
Okay.
Now, how
oil.
old's your daughter?
I have two of them. One's 28, one's 26.
Jeez, you're looking pretty good too for 28.
Yes.
Thanks. I'm
Gotta
hanging in
say.
there. I'm not on your level, but I'm hanging in.
The guys on this side of the table aren't looking as good. I have
Ladies, we
nothing.
got the good parts covered, you know.
No, look at us. June's looks like about 100.
I know.
You look ancient, and so do I.
I know.
What do we do so wrong?
That's because we've been dealing with them.
Oh,
Do you guys-
That might be true.
Do you guys use coconut oil?
Look, there's a great New Yorker cartoon. Do y'all know Bruce Eric Kaplan,
The cartoonist?
Cartoonist.
I think so. I think
you know,
I
he
know
has
his
the
name.
B. If you ever see there's a BEK, and there are two women,
yeah. Okay.
standing on the sidewalk, and the caption is, "He died after a long battle with me."
I feel like my husband has that tattooed on
Well,
his
he
arm.
didn't learn the rule.
Oh, and
What's the rule?
Happy life, happy wife.
Oh, other way around.
Happy wife, happy life.
Right.
It goes, if you want a happy life, you must keep your wife happy. If you have a happy wife, then you're going to have a happy life.
It's
what
that
about,
simple.
what about that song?
That's simple.
If you want to be happy for the rest of your life.
You better
Do you
make
know that?
Yeah, better make a
No, it's never
make a pretty woman your wife.
Right.
Yeah, what is it?
I don't know
Whatever
about that.
means.
Because
That's
from
it.
my personal point of view, get another girl to marry you,
Yeah.
I think is the next line.
That's right.
Song. How I would remember that. That's crazy. So, okay, next thing we have to talk about is, first of all, life after death. Do you believe that you're going to come back after you're dead, Erica?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if I would want to.
Well, then it's okay to be cremated, I suppose.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Because
okay
June
with that.
doesn't know anything about that. He hasn't
Like that.
decided. You've decided there is. You don't know. You're just
I'm
gonna,
not sure.
You're just going to err on the side of you're not going to be reincarnated because you're not going to have a body. You're going to have to come back as a lump of ash.
Well, you know, I'll take that. As long as I'm cute. Cute lump of ash.
Okay.
I'll take it.
As long as I'm
You're having
cute.
a
What,
handle.
what's your position on that then, Anne? Are we coming back or is that all over?
Oh, I'm a transcendental Buddhist, if it comes down to it.
So we're coming back in
So
your
you do
opinion.
believe.
I do
Right.
believe. But I think I go to Emerson with the Oversoul of energy, which goes back to science. Is there's a finite amount of energy in the
Right.
universe.
Where does the energy of your body go when you die, right?
Does it go back to the Oversoul? I don't know
Right.
that, but I think at the end of the day, if you're working on making the world a better place and yourself better every day, then I don't have to worry about any of the rest of it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well-
That's all I got.
What's an oversoul? What is the oversoul?
You can come by my house anytime you want, and we'll talk Emerson all day
The
long.
All
repository.
right. Well, that's an interesting invitation right there.
Yeah.
Emerson, as in some
As
sort
in
of a
Ralph Waldo.
Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he created or came up with the concept of oversoul.
Of transcendentalism. He was the
Trans-
father of transcendentalism, which was a school of thought in New England that looked at. He was a traditionally trained minister, but through some life tragedies, he stepped away a little bit and had this idea that not that religion didn't work, but that we are maybe a part of something bigger that isn't as confined. And if we work on ourselves and not perfecting ourselves to be perfect, but to share the gifts we've been given to the best of their ability.
Passing on, paying. Yeah.
Paying it forward. I mean, he did the
It is
original
kind of a
pay
paying
it forward.
it forward type
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, and what happens if we do that? We get what out of that?
Yes.
Yeah, what do we get out of that?
Well, that's what I'd like to know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm an agnostic.
You don't believe in any of this stuff.
I hedge my bets, right?
So you're up for being cremated then?
Yeah.
Agnostic, but agnostic is not the same as atheist. Agnostic means you just don't know.
You don't know, and you're comfortable with not knowing.
So are you prepared to be cremated just in case there is reincarnation then? Or as an agnostic?
Do you have to commit to some sort of form of disposal?
Well, I'm just wondering if you get burned and you don't have any limbs, and you donate your eyes to science, and
you come back as a
so it doesn't
basset hound or something.
Nothing to do with your body whatsoever.
Lucky, right?
Yeah, indeed. I had a basset for years.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he one of the ones in the boxes?
He is. Gus.
Gus the basset hound.
Gus the basset
hound.
I like Gus.
That's a good.
Gus the basset hound.
Gus the basset hound.
There's a song called Gus the basset hound. Well, there's going to be.
We can make one.
What do you? Where do you stand on the reincarnation?
I'm with you. I'm agnostic about it. I don't know. I have no idea. But,
right.
But there's some sort of sect of Christianity believes that you're actually going to come back out of the grave. We're all going to be risen, right?
Right.
Well, I don't know whether that's true or not. I have no idea.
I don't think that's this table.
It doesn't matter if we don't believe it.
It's the wrong table.
But that's a good thing about it. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not if it ends up being true.
Yeah.
You can think it's the stupidest idea you've ever heard. Like, who believes that crap? That we're all going to rise up out of our graves. What happens when What happens if it really happens? Then? Yeah, the rapture. I mean, millions of people believe that.
I know. I mean, it's either the most beautiful mystery in the world, or it's the biggest trick that's ever been perpetrated on. But whatever.
Well, it's the only thing we don't know. I mean,
Right,
everything else we can find out.
I mean, if we knew it was true, there'd be nothing for us to do but put it all down and. It's like the Flannery O'Connors. Do you know that good man is hard to find?
Absolutely.
What's all that about?
Yeah, little bit of Southern Gothic
Jesus
literature
thrown
here,
everything off balance,
Well, if we knew what was going to happen, we could kill ourselves now and come back as a basset hound tomorrow.
That's right. That's right.
Well, one thing's for sure, we're all going to find out.
Or not.
Or not.
Or not.
There you go.
Or it fades to black, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
you know
why,
what? That's why you appreciate this.
That's why we spend this time on Earth smoking weed.
Yes.
Like your son.
Drinking.
So, what is the deal with that? What is he doing in the weed business?
He is managing a grow team on a grow farm. He
team.
has.
He
went to LSU as an engineering major, and a semester in, I got a phone call, and he said, "Hey,
I'm in jail."
No, none of them have gone to jail. Out of the 4, no jail time.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Act of God. I did. Well,
incredible.
Yeah, I didn't do that. But he said, so I'm going to be an anthropology major, and I said, awesome. Good for you. So it goes sleeve, sleeve, fold, fold, half, half. And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, well, my baby, if you're going to be an anthropology major, you're going to work at the Gap for the rest of your life. And I'm like, and I'm fine. Like, you got to do you. I'm not. He was the last of 4 and about a dozen foster children. So I'm like,
you've had a dozen foster children.
Mm-hmm.
For real. You've had 4 of your own kids, and you've had a dozen foster children.
Wow.
Well, you are definitely not having to come back.
Here are 2 of the great women that I've ever met right here.
No.
Yeah,
I've been so fortunate. Are you kidding? I'm the one. No, I'm not. I have been given so many gifts by the children.
I wish that you and my foster mom, that would have been awesome.
You can come by the house.
It's not too late.
I'll do your
We got the Ralph Waldo Emerson books.
I'll make you read a book or 2.
You want a chair at the table in the mausoleum, Grant?
Yeah, you can come around the dining room
I could spend the
table.
rest of my death in the Plaqueimine's Parish being washed out to sea.
Black.
That wouldn't be too bad, actually.
South Plaque.
Wait, what did I miss? What did I miss?
I was going to say, take it back to the Jake man, because bless his heart, when you're the last at the end of the tale, he's learned to make his presence known in a very quiet, loving way.
So the 4th kid and the 13th, if you include the...
It was cute. He was changing jobs within his company. So he graduated from LSU with an anthropology major.
He did. Okay.
And knew he was going to Colorado to work in the cannabis industry. And one of my former students said, hey, we'll take him. And they got him in, and he's doing incredibly well. And so now he's training teams. They're like called strike teams. So like when a new market opens up, he's adept enough at training people that he has a team under him, and he goes in and trains a new team in a new market.
To sell weed. He's an expert at selling weed already.
He grows
It's
it.
like Whole Foods team
I
member.
feel like he may have sampled the product enough.
Oh, okay. But I mean, the weed industry is not that old that you already have like an expert marketing person who's in a strike force.
But see, the anthropology major, like Boyd took his college education, like he's a cultural
Another
anthropologist.
good reason to
But
get
I've
an
seen it.
education.
Yeah,
Les.
I've been to Colorado.
You never know.
And
No, you
to
never
the
know.
dispensary there.
You did?
Yeah, because that's part of our tour, most of the
Right.
winter tour.
And you're also in the Galactic, the funk band, where you have to smoke weed, right? It's part of
it can happen.
Yeah.
She still has wine in her glass.
It can
But
happen.
it's not called a,
Very
is it called a
diplomatic,
dispensary?
Erica.
I thought it was just a store now.
No. I mean, it's really beautiful because you see it from the little seedlings from the beginning,
Right.
all the way into each room has a different lighting and the way they do it. It's really cool, and all the way to the harvest room, like the very last room. That room is going to be taken out, and it's going to clean it, everything, and then the next shift is going to roll. So it's really nice, and everything is tagged where the city comes in and with the scan and make sure to get the taxes on it. But yeah, it's a great thing to see from the beginning and how they cross
it's
the
agriculture.
strains.
Yeah.
And they cross the make the
Right.
different strains.
Is it agriculture
for
or
kids
horticulture?
and
Right.
for people medicinal kind? So it's
Right.
very interesting to see. It's not just about getting high,
Right.
Even though that's
yes, it is.
It's a good part
Really,
about
but-
it, but that's a benefit.
You
But
could have a same sort of romantic telling of the story
Yes,
of
yes.
growing tobacco, though, couldn't you? Before we all discovered that
Or
tobacco was
being
going to
an
give us
exotic
cancer.
dancer.
Or being an exotic dancer. No, but growing something from a seedling and watching
Yeah.
it grow, and
Yeah,
there's
watching
different
it grow.
strains of it,
Yeah.
and this one's this, and this one's that, and
yeah,
there's all
'cause
nice
the purple is
music playing.
actually purple. That
Right.
whole section was purple.
But couldn't you have this romantic telling of the growing of tobacco just the same?
I guess.
Of course.
I don't
I
know.
like the way
It's
we
been
harvest
done.
it.
No
It's
doubt.
only because now we don't like tobacco
Yeah.
now. Now that tobacco's out.
Yeah.
It sounds evil if you were sitting here talking about the wonders of tobacco strains, and there's
Good point.
stuff
point,
that's
yeah.
for cigars, and there's stuff for cigarillos, and there's stuff for light.
Yeah,
Virginia Slims starts off
Those
here.
will chew
My son
tobacco.
is-
Yeah, it would
Farmer
sound
out,
awesome.
wow.
We'd all be
Yeah.
sitting here going, "Oh, wow!" And now we're doing it with weed, and probably in 100 years they'll be talking about how bad weed is for you, and it gives you all this and that. And
Well, they're already. I mean, I have a friend who's a cardiothoracic surgeon.
well, that's good.
Yeah,
I don't have any friends.
Yeah,
like
it's like he's very handy.
Yes,
I may need
very
him
handy.
someday. But he says and he's a ex junkie drug person who's just a good technician. And he says the ugliest lungs that he ever sees are by people who've never smoked cigarettes and who've smoked pot all their life.
Oh no!
That's what he says.
My son's getting a phone call later tonight. But no, actually, he does.
So
he
there are
says
other ways
it's
to.
way
You
more
don't have
about
to
the
smoke.
edibles. Yeah,
Yeah, the edible stuff.
It's all about the edibles. From
Right.
what I
Oh, now we're onto
understand.
edibles, which
I'm
that's
just
got to
saying.
be so bad for your brain, though. Have you ever done those, Mom?
No, I'm
Really?
So I'm not. No.
Are you kidding?
Isn't it sad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially if you can get them for free.
You got a hookup.
Sorry.
Did you do any edibles, Erica, on the road in Colorado there?
Yes.
See, that is too strong for me, isn't it? That is
It's
real.
more of a body feel
Yeah.
than a head
Is it?
feel.
Is
yeah,
it?
it is. Yeah.
I
And
used
it
to-
lasts a lot longer, too.
It's what it's good for Mardi Gras Day. It's really good for Mardi Gras Day. If you eat a lot of pot first thing in the morning, and then go to Zulu, and then just keep walking.
It's
You
also
don't
good for really long flights.
It's good.
Oh,
That's a good tip.
I hadn't thought
It's
of
a good
that.
tip,
Seriously.
Grant.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a good tip.
That's a good tip, right?
good tip.
I can give you the recipe for these these
Yes.
chocolate chip cookies with pot in them that I make every Mardi Gras. They're great. But I can't even imagine doing that on a regular day. And then 8, 9 hours later, be still like, shit, I wish this would wear off about now, actually, because I'm about had it.
But for me, I normally partake on off days
Right.
or post gig.
Right.
I can't. I don't like it.
You don't want to go on stage.
But they've
No,
got,
no, I
they've
wanna
got.
be
Oh boy,
Right.
no, you couldn't.
focused.
But they've got people going to the Denver, was it the Rockies game or the Colorado Rockies game or whatever, and they're selling edibles there because it's legal. And you've got 10,000 or 20,000 people all fucked up on. What I would do
Pretty
for Mardi
much.
Gras Day. These people are just sitting there on a regular Thursday night watching a ball game.
Yeah.
Well, at least they aren't dripping beer down my back. I'm
Well,
just going to point.
Where is that?
Just going to say.
Right.
I don't know. Must be pretty interesting. It's a whole interesting. Look, we're going to all end up looking like this guy walking past you if we don't watch it. Hey, we have to get out of here. By
Do
the
I
way.
really look
Do we-
ancient?
No, you look
I'm just kidding.
fantastic.
No, you look
All
great.
right.
You actually, you look
Got it going
you look like
on.
you've
By
been.
the way.
I know, really. In this light, I
You
look
look a
great.
lot younger than you do on
Than
television,
80.
by the way.
You look like you've been using coconut oil, Les.
I look like I've been drinking this for about
That's
40
what it
years.
is. Wow, that's the thing. The more you drink, the better we look. Before we get out of here, I have to tell you about all the stuff we have lying on the table here. It's called Hangover Destroyer. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
It's awesome. It's the only natural product. I'll just read it. It's the only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover.
Wow.
I don't know if it'll work with pot or not, but I've never had it.
Do you take it before?
Yeah, you can take it before, during, and
before.
after, but especially it will work before or during while you're drinking. If you're not lucky enough to be sitting at this table.
Buzzkill there.
What do you mean? No, it's our sponsor.
I know.
It's the best fucking product ever.
No, I've actually tried it.
You have?
I've actually tried it.
It's the number one, of course.
It's awesome.
Yes, it's a testimonial. You remember that time
Absolutely.
you woke up the next morning and you did thoracic surgery, right?
I felt fantastic.
Whatever that is.
No, I was able to recite the entire...
The entire Keats Ode to a Grecian Urn,
right
yes.
off your tongue.
I thought that was very impressive, actually, the first few lines of that. If you'd like to get yourself some Hangover Destroyer, go to the Hangover Destroyer website. It's called hdestroyer.com. And if you write the words happy hour in the coupon code, if you're not too high or hungover to do that, you'll get 30% off of Hangover Destroyer, so you too can seize the dawn. And thanks also to Basics Swim and Gym, where you can get a full range of fashion swimsuits, workout and yoga clothes with style. They have bikinis, one-piece cover-ups. Do you guys need a cover-up or a bikini?
Yes,
Les needs one. June, you need a cover-up.
There's
I think
no bikinis left.
it's beach season.
June needs a bikini.
Everything you need for the beach or poolside is at Basics Swim and Gym. It's right next to Basics Lingerie, the Basics underneath the lingerie store on Magazine Street near Jefferson Avenue. So there you go. That's it. Happy hour for another week. Thank you so much for joining us. And Ohri has been here from the New Harmony School. If you'd like to get a hold of some of that $10 million, check out the...
we have a website.
New Harmony.
New Harmony High.
New Harmony High. What a great name for a TV show, isn't it? New Harmony High.
Yes.
And Erica Fall's new record, Homegrown, is available where?
iTunes, cdbaby.com, Amazon, and my website is ericafalls.com. You can get it there as well.
Okay, and can we steal it off of Spotify?
Yeah, I was going to say Spotify.
Yes, it's on Spotify.
Okay, so you get like 0.00169
I'll
of
get
a penny or something
I'll
like
get
that
a
every
penny.
time
Yeah.
someone plays it.
So we'll buy it. We'll
And thank you too to the fabulous June Yamagishi for being here, and especially for playing through the whole show.
Thank you, June.
Awesome. Very good. And Professor Les White, Dr. Les White, I suppose you call doctor or professor?
Students call me doctor. You know,
All right.
I tell them not to, but
They call it anyways.
Yeah.
Do you wear a white coat like a real doctor? Just walk around in your black shirt?
I do not.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, Les. It's been great to meet you.
You too.
All right, and we
Great
can
to meet everybody.
It's been great, and we'll see you back here
Thank you,
next
Grant.
week. In the meantime, our show is produced by Graham DuPont. He was right over there. Our associate producers, Alison Moon and April Stolf, and Christian Unruh as our music director. Jean Valois as our music producer. Thomas Walsh is our technical director, and our live feed director, who put this whole thing on Facebook Live all by himself, is Asher Griffith. Our theme music was written by and is currently being played by Mitch Foreman. If you'd like to be on our show and you can stay upright for about an hour while drinking alcohol, drop us a line. Our address is on our website. It's neworleans.com, where you can hear many other hours of Happy Hour, as well as some other shows we make here, including Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti live from Commander's Palace, and Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tooker. You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and it's batonrouge.la. You can keep up with us on Facebook and Twitter and a bunch of other time-sucking social media as well. And all of it recorded. It's New Orleans. You can find photos from this show on itsneworleans.com and on our Facebook page. These photos were taken today by Alison Moon. If you're listening to this show on your favorite podcast app, thank you for subscribing to us. Take a moment, if you've got one, to rate and review us. That'll help other people find us. Our show is recorded live today at Wayfare on Ferret Street, where they have a 3-hour happy hour here every day and brunch on the weekends. Happy Hour is a production of INO Broadcasting for itsneworleans.com. Andrew Duhon is on the road. You can find him at andrewduhon.com and see if he's in a town near you. For him and for everyone else around the table here at Wayfare and back at our office at INO Broadcasting, thanks for joining us. I'm Grant Morris. I'll see you back here next week for more Happy Hour.
Let's consider the secret life of the innermost nesting doll. Living most of her life in the dark, inside the other nesting dolls, she has plenty of time to think, if she could. Sadly, she has no brain. However, when an innermost nesting doll hears that Geico not only saves people money, but also has been providing great service for over 75 years, she thinks it's obvious you should switch. Because yes, switching to Geico is a no-brainer. Pity the innermost nesting doll and her lot in life.